General vocab techniques. So there's general techniques and there's question-specific techniques. And we're going to start with the general ones, and these go to all the questions because they have to do with things like, what if you don't know a word? How do you figure it out? And then the specific ones is where we're going to move from here. So, okay, the first thing here is what I call paradoxical threshold calibration, which is sort of a mouthful. But basically what it means is, let's say you have some sort of theoretical threshold for throwing an answer out or keeping it, right? It seems like, at least to me, the intuitive way is, oh, I know all the words, so I'm just going to throw them out if they're wrong, right? Whereas if you don't know something, like you don't know one of the definitions in one of the questions, you're going to be more sort of wishy-washy, like, oh, I could throw it out, but I kind of don't want to because I'm not 100% positive here, right? You guys see what I'm saying? That it feels like when you're very sure of the words, you should be sort of strict, and when you're not sure of the word, you should be a little bit looser, right? I think it's exactly the opposite of that. If you know the words, go ahead and lower the threshold. It's fine. Yeah, you may know it's not the answer, but you know the words, you're going to have the techniques to prove to yourself. Don't just on an intuition be like, oh, I think that's not the answer, so I'm throwing it out, right? Because you're going to be able to prove that to yourself if you want to, if you know the words. If you don't know the words, throw things out more, be more ready to throw things out. At the sort of limiting case, if you don't know anything about the question, you're going to have to guess on it anyways. Go with your intuition and do it confidently. It feels weird, but it works. And it can work. And not only that, but what else are you going to do, right? So essentially, the more you know about a question, the more relaxed you should be about throwing things out because you don't really need to, right? We're going to go over a whole bunch of techniques that are going to teach you how to know that that's the answer, if you know everything about the question. The less you know about the question, the more ready you should be to just write things off. And you should, it's unnerving, but you just want to do it confidently, don't second guess yourself, and just go for it. Because what else are you going to do, right? I mean, that's sort of, I feel like people are very squeamish at first, and you'll see I really emphasize in this class, like, I don't care, just throw it out. If you don't know what's going on in the question, if you don't like an answer for some reason, even if you're totally not sure about it, throw it out. What other criteria do you have to go on? And it's actually amazing how often those intuitions can be correct. And I'll show you why. There's a whole bunch of features of language that really can help with this process. We're going to go through it a little bit today. So yeah, I would go through and read this part, but it's interesting, and it's something that I distilled out only through teaching. And I was like, wait, I guess the threshold at which I'll be willing to throw things out varies greatly depending on how much I know about the question. And again, the goal here, and I'm really going to emphasize this on the verbal, is not to get every single question right all the time. This sounds very weird. You'll notice every once in a while I will miss questions, and that's fine. And you should also be fine with missing them. The goal is to hone and master the techniques that give you the highest probability of getting any question right. Which means every once in a while, in these rare cases, the techniques don't work for some reason. There's no perfect solution, but I'm going to teach you stuff that 99.9% of the time will work. And so this right here, you might be like, well, I didn't know, and oh, if only I'd done it this other way, I would have gotten the right answer. Don't go back and change things. People have a tendency to sort of like second guess the way they're approaching something when they get questions wrong. It's okay. You'll sort of learn this, but don't worry too much about it. The goal should be giving yourself the highest probability of getting every question right, which means that same approach, every once in a while one will slip through the cracks, so that's totally fine. And don't worry about it, and don't go back and be like, oh, I'm doing something totally wrong. You'll see, you'll get it. Yep, and just do things with confidence. Again, you don't want to be stalling out on the GRE, you've got time, you have to answer every question. Just do it. Who cares? What else are you going to do, right? It's sort of like, I think people tend to use a lot of energy and focus and just like sort of lose control of their test by second guessing themselves in the verbal, not wanting to answer questions that they're not sure about. That's the other thing. If you don't know the words in the question, the probability that you're going to get that question right might only be 20%. If there's 5 answers, it may only be 20%. Why are you going to sit and dither on that question and waste your time worrying about it if it's just at the end of all of that worry, you're still just at 20%? You will be higher than that, but I'm just sort of saying, don't waste your time on questions that you're not going to get anyway, so just be quick, be confident. If you don't know, get on to the next question. You might know the next question, right? Don't waste your time on these and just be like